So I have a question. What are you going to do if the Baltimore Ravens lose to the New York Giants?
Daniel Jones can't hurt me anymore.
Welcome back to the James and Dame Show. I'm Josiah.
And I'm Will.
Music to my ears. And we're going to be going over Week 15 previews. So this is the time to do pick'ems. And now all 32 teams are playing for the rest of this year. So that means we are in the final stretch. And I don't think Will or I are going to catch up to Genuine Cats, if we're going to be completely honest. So unless something weird happens. But Genuine Cats has been on a roll. So
Probably not. Yeah, we're what?
I'm 5 games behind Genuine Cats, and he's 4 behind me.
Yeah, Genuine Cats just is destroying us. Also had the best record with 10 correct games. It was
Pretty good.
yeah, it was
Oof.
just pulling away. It was rough. I think it was a rough week for just about everyone. We had 3 people with only 7 correct picks.
Yeah, I had 9, I think.
8.
8. Never mind.
8.
I had 8 correct.
Not pretty, but we'll get into these.
Oh, well,
Some
I
of these
guess.
games and
Darn you, Packers.
start with the Thursday night game with the Rams visiting the 49ers.
I did look this up. Niners are really good against the Rams. Yes, they've lost the last 2 games. I'm still kind of thrown up in the air with this one because this is a weird game because I know the Rams are really good, but the Niners also have a pretty good record against them. This is also a different year where the Niners are injured a lot.
Just not themselves, really.
They are not themselves. And the Rams are not as injured.
Yeah.
They have Puka and Kupp, the same team now, so they don't have to worry about that offense. I'm more worried about what they're going to do in Santa Clara. So
The thing that really throws me off with this is, like you mentioned, the 49ers are really good. They've lost the last 2, but one of them, I believe, was at the end of the year when the game didn't matter.
it didn't matter.
So the only game that really mattered was the one earlier this year. But the 49ers just aren't good. Like they're not playing well. They played well against the Bears, but I think the Bears
They're just bad.
I think they were honestly probably the worst team last week. So I mean, both coming in off of pretty big wins. I don't like the game. I don't like
All
this
right.
game because
All right, Steve, your run.
I don't like the game because it's history versus
Recency
recent history versus
overall.
just how they've been playing. And it's like, do you go with the trend or do you go with how the teams are playing? And
I've got my pick.
all right, well, I mean, you don't have to hear me blabber on. You can go with your pick. I know my pick. I don't like it.
I am picking the 49ers because knowing how things are,
The NFC West is currently a mess right now. No one currently has. I don't think any of them do, but I do believe none of the NFC West teams have an undefeated record against each other, or at least when they've gone head to head. In the sense, yeah, this year I'm pretty sure.
They all have a loss in the division, so yeah.
They do have a loss in division, so no one's undefeated against any divisional opponents right now. And so I am a firm believer. Yeah, the best one right now is technically the Rams. Technically, with 2-1, Seattle with 3-2, I guess. But the best one is the Rams. But the Niners are 1-3 in division. And the Niners, while they are not the same Niners as before, they still do all right. And knowing how this division is, it's probably going to be pretty even spread throughout this division. So I'm going with the Niners in this one. Also, Rams in Santa Clara doesn't sound very good, if I'm going to be completely honest, for the Rams.
No, Yeah, this is. I don't know how we think apparently very similarly. I am also going with the 49ers just because of trends, because I think the 49ers kind of turned a leaf. I think this is also just a game that the Rams could show some of the struggles. You know, they
particularly on defense.
they're another. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the NFC West. Rams and Cardinals, I think, are kind of the kings of that. Rams do it differently than the Cardinals. Cardinals are absolutely the top.
They're weird.
But Rams, I just see this being a game they struggle, and I like the 49ers, not really for any other reason other than just I think it's a feeling, not really anything I can look at stats as far as this year goes that would provide any confidence. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 49ers for this one.
Time to go for the first Sunday game. Whoopee. Guess who it is? It's the Kansas City Chiefs against the Browns. You know who I'm picking, the Chiefs, because their black magic will not stop.
It's the fact that this one I feel like might actually require black magic that is amusing to me. I'm also going the Chiefs, but I just think it's funny that if this game also takes black magic for them to win, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh because of this.
I'm be frustrated because the Chiefs should not have the record that they have right now.
It'll be such.
It is very fraudulent, and they're going to get a wake-up call in the playoffs. Or at least I'm confident that they are, but we'll see.
Either way, this one's one that I'm like, I'm not even upset, really. I'm not even upset if the Chiefs win, really, that much. I'm still going to root against them, but
It's the Browns.
I'm just going to laugh if this one's even close.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah.
going Chiefs because I'm not crazy, but I'd love to laugh.
Oh, yeah. The next noon slate games, we have the Bengals visiting the Titans. No.
I mean, it's interesting because the Bengals defense is bad. And
But the Titans are all around bad.
the Titans just are. Yeah, it's the Titans are bad, and I don't know that their defense will be able to keep up with them. I don't think Tony Pollard is going to go for like 250 yards, and I think that's about the only way that offense really could work. Either that or Nick Westbrook-Akine is about to have himself a day.
I
should have
highly
him in
doubt that.
fantasy. But yeah, I'm going Bengals too. It's the clear one.
The
Although,
logical one.
head coach revenge game
True.
could make it interesting. I
True.
don't
We'll see.
think so.
I don't think it will, but we'll see. Then we got the Commanders visiting the Saints. You were out. No Derek Carr. No Taysom Hill. It's over. You're done. Commanders will probably take this game. No.
Yeah, I mean, if the Commanders continue what they did, if they continue the trend before they went into the bye with how they beat the Titans, I think this one could be ugly. I think the Saints are a little better built and maybe coached. I don't really know what's wrong with the Titans. The Saints, they're beat up. So I think they'll fall behind, but I don't think it'll be as ugly as it was with the Titans.
No.
So, moving along, we just got all of the easy pickings today, don't we? We got the aforementioned Ravens visiting the Giants. And I know that the first thing that popped into your head when you saw this was that one time the Ravens lost to the Giants.
No. No.
Joke's on you. Now we have a loss to the Eagles, so it doesn't look as bad.
It's true. But to be completely honest, this one should easily be a Ravens win. If you looked at the betting lines, it's not even close.
I think this is the biggest we've seen so far.
It was like negative 1,600 to
They're
plus
1,600 point favorites.
plus 800. Yes,
it's
pretty bad.
That is quite ridiculous. And I mean, I was just gonna pick the Ravens for being the Ravens. We've known this, but I mean, do I need to list other reasons? I don't even need that as a reason. It's literally just it's the Giants. What other reason do I need?
They're a dumpster fire.
They are. You know, I feel like they're up there with some of those with the 0-win teams as most embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they managed 2 wins.
I don't know how they have 2 wins.
We'll move along.
We have the Cowboys and the Panthers.
Mm.
Who are you going with?
I'm concerned because you think a lot like me, and I'm concerned you're still gonna pick the same team as me, even though. God damn it. I'm going with the Panthers because I've been impressed with the Panthers. The Cowboys are just a mess, losing even more players. And the Panthers, again, they just have impressed me. Bryce Young is playing well. Like, Leggett has been very good. The Carolina Panthers did lose is it Jordan Brooks, their rookie running back,
Yes.
I believe, for the rest of the year. But luckily for them, Chuba Hubbard's been playing well most of the year anyways. And I think they can lean on him. Bryce Young, if he continues to play the way he has. Cowboys, I mean, you almost beat the Bengals, but you only put up 20 on their defense.
Which is not good.
It's not. Panthers just improved. The Panthers are only 37% picked. I really like the Panthers' chances in this one.
I do as well, because the thing is that they play close against the Eagles, the Chiefs. They play close to a lot of people recently, and it's been pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. So that's why I'm picking the Panthers. They're actually favored in this game. If you looked at the betting lines,
They
are
are.
technically favored in this game.
Which is interesting.
I'm sticking with the Panthers. I'm gonna do that.
I don't know.
However, this next game is gonna be ugly.
Tank Bowl part order we? Is this the
5 or 6
fifth
at this point.
iteration?
I don't know. I lost track because of how bad some teams are this year. We got the Jets and Jaguars in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Who do you even pick in this game?
I think now that the Jets, it's just how much longer does Aaron Rodgers play? Because I feel like at some point it's just not worth it. Mm-hmm. Even if you're like, even from the perspective of you're the Jets and you want him back next year for some reason, you want him back next year. He's coming back from his injury last year. You don't want to, no need to risk it. And you could test out who you have. And if you are moving on from him, even more incentive to test out who you have in Jordan Travis or Adrian Martinez, I believe, if he's still there. And there's no reason to play him. Yet, from what I've heard, he's still playing. But you got the Jets, who are way more talented than their record, going against the Jaguars, who are also way more talented than their record. But they have Mac Jones at quarterback, and that is why I'm going with the Jets.
I'm torn between this one because I know the Jets have technically the better roster. However, the Jets do find a way to lose. They've been doing that all year. So I'm a little torn right now. I'm a little tossed up. I don't know.
I will add, that was a thing that I took into consideration, is the Jets just managed to lose games, but they still keep it generally pretty close for most of them. You know, they play pretty well, but they still manage to just lose games. The Jaguars just play bad the entire game.
I mean, they did barely beat the Titans in a 10-6 final.
Yeah, like
With Mac Jones, I guess. You know what? Maybe I'll stick with the Jets then. Now I'm really thinking about it.
That's my reasoning, is at least the Jets look pretty decent. They just find a way to lose. The Jags, they just look bad.
There's like the little voice in my head. It's like, pick the Jaguars. You know the Jets are not good. And I'm like,
I mean, you can go ahead. You can go against me if you want. All you want.
You know what? I'll go against you. I'll go to the Jaguars.
Cool.
If I'll eat my words if the Jets actually win.
It's a tank bowl. Who cares?
No one cares at this game. Anyways, this is a game that some people should care. Dolphins and Texans. I know you're tempted. I know you're very tempted.
This one is tough because the Dolphins are playing for a lot right now. Texans, like, they can probably split the rest of their games and they'll still win the division.
Yeah, they definitely could.
Dolphins, Tua is playing well. The team, like, certain aspects, they play well. They don't look horrible, yet somehow you looked really bad 2 weeks ago. Last week, you almost lost to the Jets, which was just, like, I don't know, the last few weeks have been concerning. and I feel like they're playing below where they need to be playing. But they're also playing with the most on their shoulder, and the Texans, like we've mentioned, a little iffy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Texans coming off a bye, maybe they're well rested and better prepped. I'm still gonna go with the Dolphins, and I hate it, but I think the playoff race has to be somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
And right now, the only two teams really that have a chance to get in that aren't in, well, three teams, are the Dolphins, Colts, and Bengals. And I think Dolphins probably have the best bet of
Well, they
the
definitely do.
They're a
They're
game better than the Colts, they're a game better than the Bengals. I think they're slightly better than the Colts, and the Colts are a mess. So, this is the other one that I just hadn't thought about as well. Same reasoning, I would say. Texans, they have a bye. They have not been very good recently. You did mention that if they just went out their division, that they could still be the seed that they need to be. Dolphins are playing for a lot. They do have a lot. Tua's been playing really well. However, I think a well-rested Texans will probably beat the Dolphins. I'm confident on that. So I'm going to pick the Texans just because a bye week should give them enough time to rest. Dolphins, while impressive, they still are barely winning games right now. I'm not entirely trusting that. If they do win, it makes the playoff race a lot more interesting. It definitely does. So we'll go from there.
Yeah, things. If I were to just add a few things that really pushed me over: Jonnu Smith,
True.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, game inside in Texas
So, yeah, that's fair.
or outside,
Outside.
open roof. I don't know, whatever they want.
It's indoor, but yeah.
Do they not have a retractable roof? I thought Houston did.
Yeah, Houston has a retractable roof. I'm just saying that they can be opened or not. I'm just, whatever.
Either way, it's in Texas anyway.
Yeah. Now we have the Colts hosting the Broncos. This is not the really bad game from 2 years ago now. When
It
the
would've been
Broncos
2 years ago.
when the
Oh,
Broncos somehow lost to the Colts when Joe Flacco was their QB and everything.
horrible. It was.
It was awful.
Was it?
Was it
Oh,
Joe?
when the Colts had Joe Flacco.
Yeah, the Colts had Joe Flacco.
Wait,
I think so.
no,
No,
Colts currently have
It was
Joe Flacco.
no, it was
Matt Ryan.
It was Matt. Oh, yeah.
It was Matt Ryan versus Russell Wilson, and it was ugly. I've heard of Colts and Broncos fans who went to that game, and it just ruined everything for them. Horrible day. Miserable.
However, this is not the same Broncos team, and this is also not the same Colts team? But the Colts are not better than the Broncos, so I'm picking the Broncos.
This one, I think it'll be interesting. Maybe it depends on the Colts because Colts have exciting pieces. Their offense is still not functioning the way it should. Meanwhile, the Broncos, disregarding like 2 weeks, which both came against the AFC North teams and the Ravens and the Browns. Other than that, they have another one of the top defenses, like one of my favorite defenses. And on top of that, they also have a quarterback who is leaped towards the front of the at least best rookie quarterback, if not top of the offensive rookie of the year conversation. Like Bo Nix he's growing, he's developing very well, which I'm so happy to see. But that offense is starting to actually develop. It's really going to come down to, can the Colts put up points using their run game? And if Anthony Richardson can use his abilities as a dual threat quarterback, can they actually get points on the board? Because they're going to need points with how the Broncos have been playing. Broncos are not invincible, but they're looking like a good team, as we've had them top 10 for, at least I've had them top 10 however many weeks. I don't know. I really like the Broncos right now. And
It's fair.
yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Broncos. But
Duh.
I don't know. I think Horsey Bowl I think it's gonna be a much better Horsey Bowl than it was 2 years ago.
That I agree with.
Going to the NFC North, we have the Detroit Lions hosting the Buffalo Bills. This should be a good game.
You got the most complete team versus the MVP favorite right now. And the man that just had back-to-back one of the most impressive performances that I've seen probably out of it. So one of the most impressive quarterback performances that I've seen, at least in a while. He's just Josh Allen is a menace right now. His defense needs to step up if they haven't won a chance in this game, because I don't know. If this game had like 80, 90 points in it, I wouldn't complain. Because
I wouldn't complain.
this would be a fun shootout.
Yes, this would.
This is going to be. I'm hoping this is a really fun game. I'm hoping the Bills don't turn into what they were when they played the Ravens. As much fun as that was for me, this one I'm hoping it's really good, and I don't know. I just don't know where to go with this one.
I am currently seeing. Well, this is what I mentioned before. These two teams are my Super Bowl favorites. These are the two teams I think are going to go all the way, or at least at the moment. It's hard because I don't know who's technically better. I know the Lions are the most complete team, but Allen is very unpredictable and can win games if he needs to, which is why he's the MVP favorite. However, I think it all comes down to whose defense is going to wake up and actually play that day. I think that's going to be the deciding factor. It will be a shootout, but it's just who's going to make more defensive plays, I guess, or less mistakes. The Bills' defense did not impress me.
No.
That was the thing that got me. And if I'm looking at both these teams overall, the Lions technically have the better defense if I'm just looking from last week, because the Lions did play a divisional opponent and they beat them. It was close, but there was more defense, I would say, that game. This Bills Rams game, that was just a shootout. Lions and Packers was just a tough nitty-gritty game, and defenses did show up that day. It just didn't really show with that scoreboard. So
I mean, yeah, it was still, they were still in the 30s, so
it wasn't that high scoring, but it was still.
It is but also the thing is that's just how the games between like the Packers, Lions, and Vikings, all three anytime they've played each other, it's been high scoring and close. Which is, I mean, I'm not complaining. I think it's just exciting. It's an exciting division when they play each other. Bears, I think, are the one case. The games are still close, really, but not as high scoring. But I don't know. It's tough to tell because the Lions' defense can be very good, but so can the Bills.
Who's going to show up as that? That's my question.
I have my answer, but
I don't have my answer right now, so I'm
all right. I'll go with mine, and I'm going with the Bills, which is really hard to do. The only reason why I'm committing to the Bills is just Josh Allen because of the way he's played. Again, he's on a 2-game tear, and could he continue that, or could the Lions stop that? Because eventually it's going to stop at some point. Probably, unless he goes all the way to the Super Bowl. Who knows? But the way he's playing right now, I think he alone could beat the Lions, which is, again, saying a lot because he just lost with the performance that he's been having. But I don't think that's the sort of thing that happens twice in a row. I think if he can have a performance equivalent to what he's had weeks past, I think this is Buffalo all the way. And that's saying a lot because the Lions are the best team in the NFL right now. So
yes, that is very much saying a lot. And as much as I like Josh Allen beating the Lions, I do think the Lions will win this game because while Josh Allen is the MVP favorite and he's really good, I'm going to go back to the same thing I said earlier. that Bills defense did not impress me, and I'm concerned about it. Who's going to show up? I don't know. I do think the Lions defense, while injured and battered, they are still playing at a very high level when they need to be. And they still have most of the backups or original pieces that they've had all year. I mean, you still have Kirby Joseph and everything. Also, Josh Allen has not thrown a lot of picks recently. He has not been the same old Josh Allen we know, where he's a lot of touchdowns, a lot of interceptions and everything. Could this be the game where we could see a Allen touchdown or interception or two? That is very possible, especially with Kirby Joseph in that secondary, because they're really good. The weakness, I'd say, on the Lions defense is that front line. I'd say that's where they are injured and battered. And I do think the Lions can take advantage of that, or at least in the sense that their secondary is really good, and Allen likes to throw a lot. It's just depending on how they can stop his run. I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm probably going to eat my words, but I will go with the Lions because I think these two teams are the Super Bowl favorites, if I'm not mistaken, or at least from both sides. But yeah.
I think it's the most exciting teams from each side, which is painful to say. But we'll move along and keep it at that as we go to the
Pennsylvania Bowl.
We got the Pennsylvania Bowl, and both these teams are actually
Good for once.
Double-digit wins both ways. They're shockingly feel really similar, where
Yes.
the offenses are Steelers. I'm iffy on their offense.
Yes.
Eagles is just one-dimensional. Both defenses very
Really good.
really good. Steelers defense has only broken, I think, once this year? Twice this year.
Twice.
Which says the same for the Eagles. Both have broken twice this year. Other than that, they're super stout. Different positions. Obviously, you look at Steelers. They got they're very similar teams. They both have very strong and stout front lines. Steelers have TJ Watt, obviously, but
Eagles defense is not something to take lightly, though.
no,
They are really good.
especially
really good.
with Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. The way they've been
tearing that up in that secondary.
they've been very impressive rookies.
George Pickens might actually have to throw some hands, literal hands.
Yeah,
We might see another fight. I'm not gonna lie.
that. I would love if that was the reason why they lost that game. As a Ravens fan, I would just laugh. But I'm with this one, I'm gonna go with the Eagles because I believe more in the Eagles' offense with Saquon Barkley. The way he's been playing has been very impressive. He's having that Christian McCaffrey like year where he finally is set free and he's just running away with it, literally.
Yes. I am gonna go with the Eagles as well because I said earlier, Saquon Barkley is a very, very close second MVP candidate for me. And this is his time to shine. Really good defense. I believe the Steelers have a pretty good run defense in general. I'm curious to see how well they do. However, Saquon Barkley is just that guy this year. He's, like you said, the Christian McCaffrey of this year. I do think that the Eagles are going to do really well, and Sirianni is currently undefeated when he shaved his head. So,
Fix some stuff up.
going to
They've been-
continue that. Also, the Steelers really like to only hover around 500 in recent memory, but when they are good, they tend to lose a couple games towards the end of the year. This might be one of them.
Yeah, Eagles they're a tough opponent. Again, Steelers also they're winning games because of how well they're coached and how good their defense is and how especially that special teams, which is not talked about enough. But this is them going up against a well-coached team and just a good team overall. I mean, the Eagles, they're up there, like they're not talked about as the best team because of the Lions,
No,
but they're right there.
they're
like
they're knocking at that door for that one seed right now.
any other year, they probably would be the favorite of the NFC. Mm-hmm. It's just right now you're dealing with a very scary Lions team ahead of you, but
Sure.
this is their chance. I'm sticking with the Eagles, and God, if you're gonna beat my Ravens, at least also take care of the Steelers. If you lose the Eagles, I'm gonna be so mad. From a bird to a bird.
Bird to bird.
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 Sit
All
down
right.
and give you bird talk.
All right. Moving on. We got the Patriots visiting the Cardinals. Do you want me to go, or you have a
Well, I'll say what I think you're gonna pick, and I think you're gonna go with the Patriots.
No way.
Because you've been going off of that sweet betting line.
And I have been right except 1 week.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. This is one of the. I can see the path for the Patriots to win, but it only goes through Drake May, because Drake May is the glimmer of hope for that team right now. He's like that one bright spot, and he's shining pretty bright. Like he's
there.
He's showing a lot of potential, and I think Patriots fans should be very excited. And I think they will squeak out some more wins. I think they've moved up from, as far as those bottom feeder teams, I think they've taken a couple steps forward.
I'd say the Panthers or the Patriots are the one who's moved out from that bottom gutter. So
Yeah, I agree. I am happy for them, but I know that I made up the whole trend, but I'm going with the Cardinals here. Cardinals are in a bit of a slump, and I can see the path. That's part of the reason why I can see the path. If the Cardinals were winning, I would be like, no. I'm more hesitant because of how they have been struggling recently, but I mean, I just think the Cardinals are a better team, and if they just need to get James Conner going, I don't know. I like the Cardinals, even though the Patriots. It seems like a very upset likely week, but Cardinals are due for a win, and I like them in this one.
all right. Buccaneers visiting the Chargers.
Oh boy.
Knowing how the NFC South is faring right now, the Buccaneers are going to be 9-8 at the end of the season. This is the one where they go 7-7. I'm just picking the Chargers.
I'm also going with the Chargers because they played the Chiefs and they played them close. The Chargers are a good team. This is another interesting situation of, you got a team that's mostly offense, bad defense, and then you got the Chargers who win low-scoring games. They have the lowest scoring defense yet, and they're 8-5 because they put up points. So it's just like two complete opposites. I don't think the Chargers are going to allow, if they allow over 20, it's not going to be by much. It's just going to come down to their offense. And for the Buccaneers, I think they might struggle, but I just don't know how they're going to win if they don't put up 20 points. If they're held to under 20, their defense is not great.
No.
They're allowing way too many yards per attempt, and it's just
It's not looking good.
I think if Chargers can get any offense going, I think they have an easy one here, which is saying a lot because Buccaneers are a good team and currently the division lead, but I think the division is going to have to be made interesting because it's the way the South is.
Mm-hmm.
Got to keep the Panthers alive.
Yep. Somehow. So, yeah, Chargers. Easy. Now we look to the Sunday night game.
I kind of have... This one I'm looking forward to just because I know a lot of Packers fans. I'm sure you do. I mean,
do as well.
They're kind of all over the place. I know some Seahawks fans too, but I have a feeling I know who you're going to go with, and I'm kind of thinking the same thing, not necessarily for the same reasons.
Okay. What are you thinking then?
What am I thinking you're going to go with, or what am I thinking?
What are you going with?
I don't like it, but I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks because of how they've played, especially last week. They're on a little bit of a win streak. Their defense is good. Their offense has been working. And the Packers they have issues, especially with turnovers, and I think the Seahawks have an opportunity to turn them over a few times and take advantage of that. Plus, Seahawks just have the history over them.
Okay. I'm going with the Packers.
Really?
I have been thinking about it because, I mean, it was solidified after. So he and I are in the same class, and we're doing a sports data class. And one of the presentations is over the Seattle Seahawks, specifically in the passing offense.
Mm-hmm.
Geno Smith is a really good passer. However, the Packers' defense is solely passing defense. They can be, if they choose to, obviously. They adjust, as any team does. While the history does tend to loom large, I would say, the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC West remind me of the AFC South with the Houston Texans. If that makes sense. Not like their division leaders can be good, but are not like great. Like they're not like, oh yeah, these guys are the division leaders. It's more of a, oh. I guess they're the division leaders, I guess. I don't know. Like that's what I think of them. This Seattle Seahawks team has been very inconsistent for most of the year, and I do not trust that. While the Packers have only won one game against a winning opponent, and that was the Houston Texans, that is also the reason why I'm giving the Packers here the win.
It's because
of
the comparison.
Because of the comparisons. This is eerily reminding me of the Houston Texans very much. Very inconsistent, should be better, but they're not. They've been struggling with turnovers, just like the Texans have been struggling with turnovers. They have not been up to their full potential, just like the Houston Texans should be better on the passing game, but they're not. While the Seahawks are technically better in the passing game, they're not that good on the ground. So if Seattle wants to win this game, they have to run it a lot, I would say. But we'll see what they do. I'm very interested to see what they pull out.
See, I did think you were going to go with the Seahawks for the over 500 thing. The thing that I look at as the differences between the Seahawks and Texans, and why I can see the Seahawks, the Texans are consistent, but they're just consistently like meh. The Seahawks are
They're like a pendulum. They go
all over the place.
They go left and right all the time. Like they're never consistent.
They haven't
ever
been consistent, but
this is the one where I'm like, this is where let's go. Boom. They're just bad.
I can see that. It's just I feel like if they actually fix some things up, which I think there's a chance, they might win here. Now, I feel like narratively, Packers win here would make sense because it'd make the NFC West nice and close. But I'm gonna stick with the Seahawks just because I like some of the things I've seen recently.
It's not even narratively close. That's not why I'm going with it. I just think the Packers are just better and the Seahawks are just inconsistent. And Geno Smith, while he's considered one of the best passers this year, are you gonna be good enough to go up against that Packers secondary? Because that secondary is young and they're good. I'm a little concerned. So that's where that was my deciding factor.
I'll end off saying the same thing. You could say the same thing about Jordan Love with the Seahawks defense.
That's also true. But
either way, we'll move along to one of the Monday nights. We're back to a double Monday night game, which feels like a while since we've had one of those. We got the Bears visiting the Vikings.
These two games are easy for me. These are the ones I was like, yeah, no. The Vikings are winning this one. If they want any shot of taking that division lead, they need the Bills to win, and they need to win this game. So
they do. This is the reason this one's concerning is just because it's literally division. The Bears looked like an all-time low last week with their first week away from Eberflus, but I don't know. It's a division game, and they've played their other division opponents close despite them still not being good. I think this one will be closer, and like I mentioned with how the Bears have played their division opponents, lower scoring. But I am still going to stick with the Vikings because I just don't think they have the coaches right now to win, and I don't think they're without the coaches. I don't think Caleb Williams is getting the development to truly win games right now. I don't know. I'm just going Vikings. I'm not as
Excited?
I'm not as sold as you are on this one or the next one, probably. But I am still probably agreeing with you on both of them. But I'm going Vikings, and then next one we have the Falcons visiting the Raiders.
This one was super easy. O'Connell's out for the rest of the season. That was only the bright spot on the QB position. I do not have any faith in Ritter.
Revenge game.
Oh, revenge game. Yeah. That also could be a possibility as well. However, like I said before, same thing with the NFC West and the AFC South, kind of. These two divisions, they like to play close, specifically the Falcons and Buccaneers this year. They're going to be trading leads like crazy. This is where the Falcons win. So,
yeah. Again, looking at this, it should be a Falcons win, but Desmond Ritter revenge game. On top of that, you also have the Falcons on a 3-game slide where they've just not looked good at all. You throw Max Crosby into that mix of how Kirk Cousins has been playing, and it's just I could see it getting ugly.
It's bad.
The question is just can the Raiders ruin their tank? They're a team right now that I believe could, but I'm gonna stick with the Falcons because that's how little faith I have in the Raiders. That's how bad I think the Raiders are. Is that even if Kirk Cousins throws like 2 more interceptions and no touchdowns, it's gonna be rough. But I can see some of the signs as to how this could be an upset and completely derail the Falcons. And also maybe ruin any chances of Kirk Cousins starting the rest of the year. But
True.
I think he's gonna keep it. He's keeping his job this week, and I think he's gonna keep it the rest of the year. So, Falcons win.
Easy
Probably. Maybe.
Probably. I would hope so.
Possibly.
I would be very upset.
Hopefully.
All right. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of all the stuff then. So,
Yep.
all the games.
That wraps up the week 15 preview.
You can count. I'm not worried.
It's not that I can't count, it's that we're almost done. This year's gone by fast.
I don't believe it's almost Christmas/winter break here.
I can't believe we almost have playoffs. But yet, otherwise, here we are. This has been the preview. As always, link in the description if you want to join us in your pick'ems, in our pick'ems. It's never too late to join because we still look at, even though we're almost done, we still look at how well people do week to week and like to compare there as well. So come and compete week to week with us as we love the competition. And also just love to see some interaction with you guys. We love to see people in any facet that we can. We do have a Discord that'll also be in the description. So feel free to join if you want to commune with the community. But otherwise, that's it for this one. Maybe we see you in the live stream.
We better see you in the live stream.
I'm not going to be as forward as he is, and I'm just going to say I hope to see you in the live stream. Been a pleasure. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you next time we see you.
See ya.
Bye.